A customer is experiencing a completely dead, no power fault with their Samsung 2024 Neo QLED TV. This is for an 8K 85-inch model, and they'd sent in their One Connect box for us to troubleshoot and fix. Now, they did already open it up, and they confirmed that this fuse was defective, so we'll double check that and see what else could be wrong with the One Connect box. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nick. I started Nick's TV Repair over a decade ago, and in the last couple of years, we have fixed over 1,000 One Connect boxes. Now, the fuse that they removed was originally over here, and they've clearly replaced it. To check it, we're going to go to continuity mode, and when we have a good fuse, we have continuity, which means we get a beep. Do we get a beep? We don't. So that means that their replacement fuse blew, and they did mention that that was the case. I have another fuse over here. Let's check that one. And I have a beep, I have continuity, so that does confirm that the second fuse is working as it should. Let's remove the power supply out of the box and take a closer look. The reason their replacement fuse also failed is because it's very rare for the fuse to fail on its own. Typically, it's because there is damage down the line on the power supply. Now, if you are just trying to identify whether or not your One Connect box is defective, you don't need to go any further. You've already confirmed the power supply is defective and needs to be either replaced or repaired. For the repair process, we're going to want to identify exactly what component causes the fuse to blow. And typically, that's going to be shorted transistors. Now, for these power supplies, power that comes in from the plug typically hits some of these components first. So let's check those out. For this step, let's switch over to the microscope. For reference, this is our power plug right here. This is one of the joints of the fuse the customer replaced. And if we keep scooching over a little bit to the right here is our first transistor. I'm still in continuity mode, so I get a beep when I have a short. I'm going to put my negative lead on the center pin, and we're going to check the outer pins. No beep. And no beep. Let's go over to the right a bit more. Let's check this one. We have a beep, and we have a beep. So we have a full short on this transistor. Let's flip the board over again. So this is the first transistor we checked, which had no shorts, and the second one over here, which did have shorts at location ID QP802CS. So let's go ahead and remove it out of circuit. We're going to want to double check that these shorts are still present on the transistor once it's removed, and that the power supply no longer has shorts after the transistor has been removed. Now, if you don't have a soldering iron or you don't want to go through the trouble of trying to fix the power supply yourself, we do offer flat rate services for these One Connect boxes, which come with a 1-year warranty. Those are available on our website, which I will link in the video description down below. And we're going to start by unscrewing the screw. And some of that silicone is actually getting in my way, so let's try and get rid of some of that. And the space is getting actually quite tight between the transistor and transformer, so I'm going to have to do the rest with my fingers. We have a plastic insulation tab we'll want to remove. And I'm going to use an X-Acto blade to cut and separate the silicone from the transistor. All right, now we can flip the board over again, and we'll want to remove the layer of silicone on the back, insulating the legs so that we can properly solder them or desolder them. For the removal process, I always like to add solder first so that we can get good flow on our leads and joints. So we're going to add solder to all 3 legs. And this one's giving me a little bit harder of a time for proper flow. When I have flow on this one, we can see the leg is able to easily move, which means this one's going to be a little bit easier for us to desolder. And if I push it around, just a little bit more on that corner. There we go. So if I push this leg around, we can see it's free moving now. This one, let's see. Okay, now I'm able to get a little bit of movement. All right, let's see if we can desolder it. I can still see there's a bit of solder left in the joint. Or is that silicone? Maybe it's silicone. Let's see. Can I move it? Hey, look at that. I can move it. It's giving me a little bit more of a hard time, but I can move it. And then this last one, I'm trying to get good flow. Okay, there we go. I can move the leg a little bit. So let's go for desoldering. I don't think this one's gonna move. No, I don't think it is. So this one, when I push it, I'm pushing the other leg. We can see this one move. But this one, when I push it, it's the only one that moves, and it's because I'm putting a lot of force. But I think it might be loose enough that I can just wiggle this guy out. Let me give that a try. There we go. When you're doing this, you definitely don't want to pull too hard, because if it isn't properly desoldered, you're actually going to rip the trace out of the circuit board, and you're going to pull it out with the transistor, which is going to make it much more difficult to install your replacement. Now let's remove this silicone so that we can see our holes for the replacement transistor. So we can see there's still a little bit of solder here in the way. Let's go ahead and desolder that, just so we have a better open joint. It'll make it easier for the installation of our replacement. And then same with this one over here. There we go, that looks better. Now let's take a look at our transistor. So we're still in beep mode with one lead on the center and one on the outer. We have a beep. We have a beep, which means that the outers are going to be shorted to one another. So we have a full short on this transistor. And I know I'm going to get this question in the comments, so let's identify what this is. Okay, G47S60YERD is our transistor here. And those are incredibly difficult to find and replace. We're using a GP47S60HX as a replacement. You'll also notice that I don't have a metal tab. This is the original. Our replacement is a full pack, which means that it is encased in plastic. The disadvantage of the full pack is that the thermal dissipation into the heatsink won't be as good as the one with the metal tab. With that said, this transistor actually runs fairly cool, so that's not really an issue, but we're still gonna put some very high-end MX4 thermal paste to ensure that we do have the best thermal dissipation that we can have. So we confirmed the transistor was bad. Let's make sure our short is gone. No beep, no beep, and no beep. And the reason we also want to check the circuit board is because we don't know if this is the only transistor that was defective or if another transistor somewhere else was also shorted. So as you can see, the middle pin is pulled forward, so let's do that with our replacement. So we're adding our thermal paste to the transistor. Let's feed the replacement in, install this screw, and let's start soldering in the replacement. We want to hang out on the joints for an extra second or two here. Make sure we get good flow. Cut off the excess. Give the area a quick clean with isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip. And let's do a final check. No beep. And no beep. So I'm gonna go into our normal ohms resistance mode, and we're gonna do another check. And we're getting 18 mega ohms, so that's millions of ohms. And on the other leg, we are getting 0.7 and rising mega ohms. So that does confirm that our replacement is good, but we still have to replace that fuse. Same process. We are going to start with the desoldering. I'm not going to add solder because there already is fresh new solder that the customer had installed. We're going to do the same thing over here. Oops. Okay, can we wiggle out our fuse? The replacement is a 12 amp, 250 volts. All right. On the back side, we're going to bend the leads away so that we can lock it in and let go of it. All right, let's solder it down. Okay, one last check. We have a beep when we have continuity, and we have continuity. Now, because this is a Samsung LED power supply, the moment I plug it in, it will auto turn on whenever it is disconnected from the main board, which is the current case. So let's plug it in and see if anything pops. So I just heard it click, nothing popped. And what I'm going to do is check some of our output voltages. I'm using my negative lead over here for ground. Over here we have our 13 volts. And sure enough, we're getting 12.78, so that's good. And then we want to see our VDRV, which I believe we can grab from this resistor over here. And we have a very steady 50 volts. I disconnected the board and flipped it upside down. And we're going to plug it back in one more time. Still got our click. And that's because I also want to do a voltage check on my filter capacitors, which are completely covered in silicone from the top. And we want to make sure we have a steady 390 to 400 volts. And we are currently getting, so it's negative 400 volts. And that's probably because I just have my leads swapped, which is fine. And now we're getting a positive 400 volts. And that does confirm that our power supply is fully activating. It is fully functional. So once again, if you have a One Connect box that you would like to send in for us to fix, we do offer the flat rate services like I mentioned earlier. They're available on our website, which I'll link in the description down below. Otherwise, if you found the video helpful or useful, leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thanks for watching.